Yeah, I wasn't kidding on Twitter, guys. Like, listen to this album all the way through and make a drinking game out of it. The rules are, if something that you hear is really bad, or you feel like it'll make Mitch roll in his grave, chug a beer. Like, the entire bottle. And then, when something else happens again after that, chug another bottle. Like, keep going until the album's over. You'll be fucking wasted afterwards, I promise you that. Oh, shit! Welcome to the Metal Reviews channel. I'm your host, Tom McKay. Today is going to be a good day. The birds are singing, the grass is going green again, which means the snow's going away. This day so far is just going so fantastic. Oh, for fuck's sake, why? Yep, that Suicide Silence album that everyone's been dreading the release of has come out today as well. So forgive me if this ends up pushing back the release date for episode 9, because this is going to get in the way. But we need to talk about this album. If I'm being completely transparent with you guys, I'm not the biggest Suicide Silence fan. I love their stuff regardless, though. No one, not even me, can deny the impact that these guys have made on the deathcore genre as a whole under the reign of the glorious Mitch Lucker before he passed away in 2012. But I'll admit that Eddie is an outstanding vocalist nonetheless. Don't believe me? The 2014 effort was a good return from tragedy. And most Suicide Silence fans would actually agree with that. But now, we have this thing. Guys, if I'm going to judge this album properly, I cannot review it as a Suicide Silence album. I have to review it as a regular metal album, period. Without the name that's attached to this album. How does it do? Well, if you've been paying attention for the past little while, not very fucking good. Again, putting aside the name from this album is just a huge, colossal mess. The guitars done by Chris Garza and Mark Halemoon, if I'm pronouncing that right, I am so sorry if I'm not, are just messy and barely trying to stay within the tempo. And Alex Lopez isn't really doing much behind the kit to impress me or anybody for that matter. And Dan Kenny's bass? It's actually not that bad. Yeah, he's not really doing much on this album, but with what we have, that's kind of a good thing. I don't know what's going on with all the electronic effects either. They don't sound bad, mind you, but there's no reason to have them. They're completely pointless, and they have one purpose, to add to the run length. That's not much of a purpose, but they're there, in case you're wondering. But with all that out of the way, let's talk about the one thing that everybody wants me to talk about. Eddie Hermida's vocals. Again, not putting the name to this album. Eddie is doing an overall shit job on this album. But now, let me be clear, okay? If a deathcore band wants to have melody in their songs, I'm gonna be the last person to complain about it. I sincerely do believe that the elements of melody and death can actually go together perfectly. It's been done well in the past. But there's one big factor in that entire thing that is essential to making these two elements that normally don't agree with each other perfectly. Do you want to know what that is? Well, the big factor is you have to be able to fucking sing! Holy shit, Eddie cannot sing, period. I know that he's influenced by Jonathan Davis and Chino Moreno of Korn and Deftones. But why does it sound like he's trying to do a half-assed impression of both of them? And here's the sad part about this entire album. It could have been good. No, really, there is a fuck ton of elements on this album that actually work. Obviously enough, the deathcore elements are fantastic. Duh. But, not so obviously, the uncomfortable moments are actually really cool. And sometimes, Eddie's melodic lines are actually not that bad. Yeah, he still can't hit the notes, but they're not that bad. All this album really needed was more time put into it. Not only trying to ease people into the sound that you're trying to create, but also perfecting it. Keep learning how to sing like you, first off. Get a producer that isn't hell-bent on making people hate what they're listening to, and this album could have actually worked. But instead, this is the result. So, overall, This album was a garbage piece of metal. Now, once again, keeping the name Suicide Silence off of the record, and this album is reaching St. Anger's levels of stupid. It's practically unlistenable. The vocals, even in the good moments, are barely holding their own. The instrumentation does nothing but dicking around. And it's a fucking shame, because this album could have worked under the right circumstances. But a word of advice, Suicide Silence, if you happen to be watching this. If this is the sound that you really want to go for, first off, try to perfect it. But also next time, try to ease people into this new sound. The payoff would have been better than the deuce that you dropped today. So that's my review of Suicide Silence's self-titled album. What are your thoughts on the album? What are your thoughts on the band in general? Did you actually buy this? If so, I'm so sorry. Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to suggest more music for me to review in the future. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the mosh pit next time. Have a good night, everyone.